Sallallahu ala nabiyyil kareem. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. The topic for the present talk is the picture of Islam in the light of Hadith and Sunnah. That is, the picture of Islam in the sayings of the Prophet and his behavior. Hadith means saying, and Sunnah means behavior. So, here I will try to give some references from Hadith and Sunnah to describe what is Islam. Because the source of Islam is Quran and Sunnah. Quran is book of God and Sunnah is the sayings and practice of the Prophet of Islam. So, in this talk, I will try to give some references from the Prophet of Islam. You know, the Prophet of Islam was born in 570 AD in Mecca. He was appointed by God as a prophet in 610 AD. At that time he was in Mecca. Then he migrated to Medina, and he died in Medina in 632 and buried over there. Say, Prophet's tradition is compiled in several books. I think that Prophet of Islam was the only person in the history whose sayings and all his traditions are preserved in the form of book. It is a great treasure, not only for Islam, but for all humanity. Because the Prophet was sent to all humanity. Lil alamin nazira. The Prophet of Islam was sent to all humanity, not only for Muslims. So here I would like to give some references from the Prophet of Islam. The Prophet used to rise early in the morning and say in his prayer, in his morning prayer, Allahumma ashhad anna al-ibada kulluhum ikhwa. O God, I bear witness that all men and women are sisters and brothers to each other. This is the universal aspect of Islam. Islam is a universal religion. Islamic outlook is universal outlook. There is a hadith of the Prophet of Islam has said, Al-khalqu hayalullah. All creatures are God's progeny, God's family. So Islamic outlook is universal outlook. Islam sees all men and women as sisters and brothers. Because Creator of all humanity is one. All the men and all women were created by God. And the ancestor was common. That is Adam and Eve. Adam and Eve, the life begins from Adam and Eve, E-V-E. The life on this earth begins from Adam and Eve. So the parent of all humanity, all mankind, is one. So God is one, ancestors are one. So this kind of thinking creates brotherhood, universal brotherhood. This kind of thinking creates universal brotherhood. There are other sayings of this kind. There are other sayings of this kind that tells us what was the prophetic vision, what the concept of Islam towards humanity. It is very well-known fact in history that Islam was the only religion on the earth that was able to create a society where every man and woman were equal. Islamic society of the early period was a society where there was fraternity, brotherhood, and equality. So in Islam, universality is not only a value, universality is also in Islamic society of the early period, you can see that this value was also translated into practice. This fact was accepted by all the historians. Swami Vivekananda was a great thinker of India. He says in one of his writings that if ever any religion approached to this equality, it is Islam and Islam alone. So, the first norm given by the Prophet was equality, universality, universal brotherhood. This was the first lesson given by the Prophet of Islam. Then the Prophet of Islam has said, Al-Muslimu man salama an-nasu bil-lisanihi wa yadihi. Muslim is one by whose hands and tongue people are safe. It means that Muslim, a true Muslim or a true Mu'min is one who is a harmless person. A true Muslim is a harmless member of his society. A true Muslim is a no problem person. Muslim is one who refrains himself from creating problems to the others. There is a hadith, Wallahi la yuminu, Wallahi la yuminu, Wallahi la yuminu, Alladhi la yamanu jaruhu bawaiqahu. It means that he is not a mu'min, he is not a true Muslim who creates problems for his neighbors, who creates problems for others. This is a hadith. sayings of the Prophet of Islam. He defines Muslims as a no-problem person. He defines a mu'min as a no-problem person. So every man and every woman who believes in Islam, he must live as a no-problem person in his society. Then there is a hadith, illam tanfahu fala tadurrahu. Illam tanfahu fala tadurrahu. It's a two-point formula. Two-point formula. It means that live in your society either as a giver person or as a no-problem person. It's very important. Illam tanfahu fala tadurrahu. If you are not able to live as a giver person in your society, live as a no-problem person in your society. So there is only two positions for a mu'min. Either he must give something to his society, or he refrains himself from creating problems for his society. There is no third position. There is no third position. So, Islam is a two-point formula in terms of society. In terms of society, Islamic life is based on a two-point formula. Either you have to live as a giver person, or you have to live as a no-problem person. There is no room for that person who lives as a harmful person in his society. Only harmless person is accepted in an Islamic society. In an Islamic society. Illam tanfahu fala tadurrahu. I think that is the best formula for living in a human society. Best formula. If everyone keeps this teaching, then society becomes peaceful society. Very simple and very important. This two-point formula is very simple and at the same time very, very important. Very simple and very important. You have to live either as a giver person or you have to live as a no-problem person. So a beautiful formula. Then a person came to the Prophet of Islam. He asked, he said, "O Prophet, give me a master advice." Ya Rasulallah, allimni kalimatin aishu bihinna. Ya Rasulallah, allimni kalimatin aishu bihinna. Wala tuksir alayya fa-ansa. It means that, O Prophet, give me a master advice by which I may be able to manage all the affairs of my life. Prophet said, La taghzab. Don't be angry. Now, what is the meaning of this sentence, this answer? means that don't be angry even when provoked. Because anger is an outcome of provocation. When there is provocation, there is anger. Without provocation, there is no anger. You cannot find a man who becomes angry without provocation. It is impossible. So, la taghzab, don't be angry means don't be angry even when provoked. And even in a provocative situation, live without anger. Don't be angry means even in a provocative situation, you have to live as a person without anger. So, it means, what is anger? Anger is a negative reaction in a situation. In every situation, you have two options: either react negatively or give a positive response. In every situation, there are two options for you: negative reaction and positive reaction. So, this advice means that in every situation, you have to give positive response. Then it means that as there are negative situations at every time there are negative experiences. Every time there are negative experiences. So this hadith means that turn the negative experience into positive thought. Live as a positive thinker. Live with positive mind in every situation. I think that it is the greatest formula of success. One who can live like this, and one who is able to respond positively even in negative situations, he is a superman. He is the most successful person. You know, failure is outcome of anger, and success is outcome of positive thinking. So this hadith gives you a master formula for living on this earth. You live in a society. You cannot live in an island. You are compelled to live in a society with other persons. So when you are living in a society, always there are some negative experiences. No society is so good that there is no problems. Problem or negativity is part of society, because everyone enjoys freedom, and when one misuses his freedom, it is creation of problem. It is creation of negativity. So every time in every society there are negative situations. So you have to possess that kind of ability. You have to be able to convert the negative experience into positive thought. And this is the greatest quality of a human being. Greatest quality of human being. Then, when Prophet migrated from Mecca to Medina, it was a very difficult journey because Mecca was his hometown, and due to some persecution, he was compelled to leave his hometown. It was a very sad experience for the Prophet. But you know, when he reached to Medina and he gave his first sermon to Medina, this sermon or this address is reported in book of Sirah. Book of Sirah. أول خطبة خطبها رسول الله في المدينة. Under this caption, you can find this sermon. So, when Prophet reached to Medina, he never said all those negative. He never gave them any kind of negative report. He saved himself from all kind of negative reporting. He never said about all those persecutions, all those atrocities, or those enmities. No, not at all. Instead of these kind of negative stories, he said, when he wanted to address Medina people, he said, أَيُّهَا النَّاسِ اتَّقُوا النَّارَ وَلَوْ بِشِقِّ تَمْرَةٍ. O people, save yourself from the fire of hell. O people, save yourself from the fire of hell. Here is a very important point. It means that Prophet of Islam was completely free of all those negative thinking. Although he faced so much negativity in Mecca, but when he reached Medina, he never reported all those negative news. But simply he said, O people, save yourself from the fire of hell. Only a positive thinker can say like this. Only a person whose heart was completely free of all those negative stories, he can address like this. So by this example, we find a very, very important principle. This principle is that you have to live in positivity. This is the secret of success. And although Meccan people expelled him from his hometown, but you know, after this expulsion, his Prophet was able to open a new chapter of Islamic history. Very soon, Medina became the stronghold of Islam, a stronghold of his religion. And although Meccan people wanted to end his history, wanted to finish his mission, but he saved himself from all kind of negative thought. He never indulged himself in negative actions against Meccan people, negative speeches, negative planning, all, all those negative activities. So he refrained himself from all those negative activities against Meccan people. But he engaged himself completely in, in positive activities, in positive thinking, positive speaking, positive activities, positive behavior. So this proved to be the greatest success. Here you find a very important example that if you want to achieve success, you want to be a super achiever. If you want to be a super achiever, make yourself positive thinker. Save yourself from all kind of negativity. So positive thinking is the key to all success. The Hijrah example of the Prophet gives us a very important lesson. You know, an American scholar, his name was Dr. Michael Hart. He has published a book, The 100. In this book, he has listed 100 great men of history. But he put Prophet of Islam at the top. He says in this book that Muhammad was supremely successful man in history. He failed to give the real reason why he was so successful. Why Muhammad was supremely successful man in history? Why? He fails to give the answer to this question. According to my study, I can say that the reason was that Muhammad was the greatest positive thinker. Greatest positive thinker. So Quran says about the Prophet of Islam, لَقَدْ كَانَ لَكُمْ فِي رَسُولِ اللَّهِ أُسْوَةٌ حَسَنَةٌ. In the Prophet of Islam, there is a very good example for you. This verse addresses to all mankind, not simply to Muslims. No, all mankind. This verse says that Prophet of Islam is a good example in the sense that he gave you the formula of supreme success. He gave you formula. He gave you formula of super achievement, and that formula is based on positivity. And make yourself positive thinker, and you will be the greatest achiever. And positive thinking means removing all those negative thoughts from your heart. Although in this society, although in this world, you will experience different kind of negative things, but you have to save yourself from negative feelings. You have to live as a positive thinker in complete sense of the word. This is the formula of supreme success. This is the formula of supreme achievement. Then there is also a very important example in the Prophet of Islam. That is love. Love to all. Love to all is the greatest example in the Prophet of Islam. Here I would like to narrate a story of the Prophet of Islam This story is reported by Al-Bukhari, very authentic reporter. So, in his book Sahih al-Bukhari, he reports that one day the Prophet of Islam was sitting at some place in Medina. So, at that time there were some Jewish tribes in Medina. So what happened? Prophet saw a funeral procession passing through a street before him. When Prophet saw that funeral procession, he stood up in respect. He was seated at that time, and on seeing that funeral, he stood up in respect. Some of his companions said, "O Prophet, it was funeral of a Jew. It means it was funeral of a non-Muslim and not a Muslim. So why this respect?" The Prophet said, "Alaysat nafsan? Was he not a human being?" Here you can see that Prophet discovered a commonality between himself and that Jew and that Jewish body. So this is the formula of love all. Love to all. The Prophet example is that you have to love not only your own people, not only your community, but you have to extend your love to all mankind. You have to find love in your heart towards all mankind, all humanity. It's very, very important because, love is the greatest power. By love, you can conquer even your enemy. By love, you can conquer even your enemy. There is a verse in the Quran, وَجَادِلْهُمْ بِالَّتِي أَحْسَنُ فَهَذَا الَّذِي بَيْنَكَ وَبَيْنَهُ عَدَاوَةٌ كَأَنَّهُ وَلِيٌّ حَمِيمٌ. It means that this instruction was given by the Quran to the Prophet. These instructions was revealed to the Prophet by God Almighty. So this revelation says, addressing the Prophet, that do, O Prophet, do good deed in return for bad deed. O Prophet, do good deed in return for bad deed. And you will find that your enemy has become your dearest friend. كَأَنَّهُ وَلِيٌّ حَمِيمٌ. Your enemy has become your dearest friend. It means that according to this instruction, according to this revelation, your enemy is your potential friend. So turn this potential into actual. Find friend out of enmity. What a great idea. Don't fight, but love to your enemy. Don't try to kill your enemy. Try to capture your enemy by love, by the power of love. This is a great, great example of the Prophet of Islam. So when he said that Alaysat Nafsan about that Jewish body, that was he not a human being? It means that I have to love. It means that I find love towards all human beings, not only towards my community, not only towards my followers, but towards Christians, towards Jews, towards all people, regardless whether they belong to this religion or that religion. This was the power of the Prophet of Islam. So Dr. Michael Hart only says this, that he was the supremely successful man in history. But when we read his life, his sayings, we find that the secret of his success was that his love was filled of, that his heart was filled of love. When we read his sayings, when we read his life, when we study his behaviors, we find that the secret of his super achievement, secret of his super success was that his heart was full of love, full of compassion. He was a great thinker. He was a great lover. He was a great he was a great well-wisher. So he was well-wisher to all. Well-wisher to all. And I think that one who is well-wisher to all, he possesses the greatest power. By well-wishing, you can capture every human being, even your enemy. You know, Jesus Christ has said, love your enemy. The same teaching was given by the Prophet of Islam. Love your enemy means capture your enemy by the power of love. So is the teaching of Quran, so is the teaching of the Prophet of Islam. Love is the base of all religions, including Islam. This is the Quran. This is the Islam. This is the religion of Islam. So I would like to say that if you want to know what is Islam, if you want to know what is Islam, you have to see the Prophet. You have to read Al-Quran. You have to read Al-Hadith. You have to find the picture of Islam in the scriptures of Islam. If you read Quran and Hadith, you will see that Quran is a religion of love. Islam is a religion of love. Islam is a religion of compassion. Islam is a religion of humanity. Islam teaches universal brotherhood.